Hey y'all, today I want to go ahead and talk about the top 5 Google Chrome extensions that you should be using in your classroom next year. So we all know that we possibly will be doing 100% like distant learning, maybe half online, half in person, or whatever your situation is going to be next year. We can probably guarantee that most of us will be doing some type of online learning. So I want to go over the top 5 extensions that I think you should use and that I'm definitely going to use in my classroom. So right now I'm sitting in my master Google Classroom, and whenever I get my classes, I'm going to copy and paste this class over and over again. So I have some things in here. But I'm going to make sure my kids download these 5 extensions. So the first one I want to go over is Nod. So Nod reactions for Google Meet. So I'm going to go to my classroom. I'm going to open up the Google Meet for this class. It automatically puts me on mute. So what Nod is you can have these different reactions. So when your students actually have Nod downloaded, this is what they'll see as well. And you can be asking a question when you're teaching, and you can say, how do we feel about this? And they can give thumbs up, they can give thumbs down, whatever they want to do. I don't know why my thumbs up isn't working. Probably because I have to click right there. But they have these different emojis. And my very favorite part is when a student has a question, you can have them raise their hand. Now, this isn't going to go away until someone closes this out, or the teacher closes this out. So you can basically call on the student, close this out, and have them unmute themselves and answer their questions. So I really like the reactions. It kind of gives more of a in-classroom feel. Going back to our extensions, the next one that I think that you guys should download, especially if you're going to have bigger classes, is Google Meet Grid View. Because on Google Meets, you can only do so much. Since I don't have anyone else in here, I can't show you. But you can't have this many people showing their face all on one screen at once. I think the max you can have is like maybe 6. So this is really great to have if you want to see everyone's face in your class, and you can call on students and whatnot. So I think that that's definitely a must, and it would be great for your students as well. Again, you want to kind of try to build the in-person classroom environment, but you have to do it online, so it can be really difficult. I'm going to save this one for last because it's my favorite. But Google Classroom, or I'm sorry, Google Calendar. So if your school uses like Gmail and has like the whole entire G Suite, my school doesn't, so we don't really use Google Calendar or Gmail. But for the kids, I think that Google Calendar is very important for them to have on their Chromebook, especially if you have all the core teachers or really all the teachers in the school using it. So what I love about Google Calendar and the extension is every time you put an assignment in Google Classroom, it will pop up in Google Calendar for them. So there's even a Google Calendar link, and you can see if there's any assignments due. They would have all of their different classes in here. So it's just a quick way for them to look, what do I have due, what's coming up, and it's a great way to get our kids to start learning how to be organized and maybe build some study habits. So when they get to college, it's not something that's brand new. So I think that Google Calendar would be a great extension for all students to use, especially when you're using Google Classroom. It helps them keep up with assignments, not only for your class, but other classes that use Google Classroom as well. The next one I want to talk about is Google Meet Push to Talk. So with students, I've noticed that maybe they're not as technology savvy as everyone says that younger kids are. I mean, there was a time where I would tell students refresh your page, and they had no idea what I was talking about. They didn't know how to do that. That was something I learned in 2nd grade, so I was just kind of shocked. But push to talk, I think, is really great for students when you're in Google Classroom and people come in and they're on mute, and let's say they want to talk. I've had it where kids didn't know how to unmute themselves. So with push to talk, it makes it really easy. You just have to push the space bar, and then you can see I'm talking, and you can see it's picking up on my voice. Let go of the space bar, and it automatically mutes them. So that way they don't have to fidget around with their mouse and trying to figure things out. They're just pushing the space bar and letting go when they're done talking. So I think that's really great for the students to have. It makes it very easy, not complicated at all for them, especially if they're unsure about how to unmute themselves. And the very last one is something that every teacher needs to have, especially if you're going to be teaching maybe even in the classroom. So it's share to Google Classroom. So not only is this extension great if maybe you have a website or something you want to share directly into Google Classroom as an assignment, but it's also great because you can push web pages directly to your students. So on this computer, I don't have it downloaded, so I'm going to go ahead and add the extension. And I want to make sure that I have it pinned so I can always use it. So when you find or when you click the Google Classroom extension, and I have to be signed into my work account. Let's see. Okay, now I have it fixed. So when you click the share to Google Classroom, it's going to load your classes, and of course it's having trouble connecting. Okay, so it's going to load up your classes. So it shows the classes that you're enrolled in, and it also shows the classes that you're teaching. So I'm going to click my master class. So what you can do is if I want to share this page with them, I can push it directly to the students. So for this to work, your students also have to have this extension downloaded. So this is why you need to make sure your students also download this extension. But the great thing is I could be talking to them about this or about a page, or I can tell them, hey, I need you to download this. Maybe not this exact app, but you can just simply push it to your students. Now, when you do this, it will pop up in a new tab on your student's Chromebook. So no matter what they're doing, it should pop up in a new tab for them. And I love it. It's perfect for sharing web pages very easily and getting your students back on task. And then from here, you can even decide to make this an announcement, ask a question, create an assignment. So I like that you don't have to like copy and paste and go back to the Google Classroom tab, upload it. I love that I can push web pages directly to students. This is literally my favorite extension. And another cool thing, and I'm not really sure how you might use this, but students can also push things to you as well. So if they have a website they want to share with you, they can go ahead and push it, and it would be under received from students. I don't believe you get any type of notification when you do get something from the student, but again, it will be under received from students. So again, if any of the apps or extensions, this is the one to get out of all of them for sure. Again, you can't beat pushing web pages to your students directly. If you guys have any questions or have any other extensions that you'd like to share with me, I'd definitely be happy to check them out. I'm always looking for new things I can add to my Google Classroom and to increase the productivity of online learning. So I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more EdTech tips.